Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who have joined in on the call.
Happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
So we'll go ahead with this webinar. So we'll have a few participants joining in. This session is also being recorded so that you can, share it with the people later, and you can come back and refer to it also later. So we'll start with the session. I'm sharing my screen. Hope it is visible.
Yeah, we are able to see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So we'll start with the basics of homeschooling with respect to kindergarten children. How to start the homeschooling, what curriculum to choose, and how to engage the children. We'll see some basics today. And depending on our discussion today, we'll see how we can take it further. So this is our main agenda today. How to start homeschooling for a kindergarten child, what to teach, and how to, on a day-to-day basis, how to do these activities or whatever events you plan for the day, and how to make sure it is continuous. So this will be the basics we'll be covering today. And to start with, we'll first need to explore what is homeschooling. What is this? Is it attending online school from home, or how is it? So homeschooling is basically a child learning from at home from the parents, and this allows for flexibility of what the content, as in flexibility with respect to content, what the child wants to learn, they'll learn. And with respect to what the child needs, as in some children need more attention with respect to each topic, so giving more attention to the child, a child centric education from home, mostly led by parents, is called homeschooling. And a brief introduction about us. So we started Saaboothree 3 years back. So our initial idea was to bring the traditional games we played as children to our kids. So the play is the best way for a child to learn. Give them a pair of dice. They'll start counting instantly. Instead of you giving 1, 2, 3 in a flashcard or a sheet or a book, give them a pair of dice and a board game. Counting will start immediately. So we thought we'll introduce. Our initial idea was to introduce education through gaming for this young children. So we started Saaboothree 3 years back. And last year during the pandemic, there was a request from our subscribers to help them with the education of their children. So we started begin last year. It is a guided homeschooling program for kindergarten. So we designed learning materials around our philosophy of inculcating gaming into learning, basic games and basic household objects into learning. So why homeschooling? With respect to this young children, why do they need homeschooling is the first question. Yes, children need education. It's not only just academics. So apart from academics also, they can learn a lot of things when you are doing homeschooling. They get individual one-on-one attention. So one-on-one teaching goes, it's much better than the classroom education or the traditional education we have seen. So in a place where 30 children are taught a single topic for 1 hour, for a single child, the same topic can be covered with 5 to 15 minutes of the time. So you'll need only maximum 15 minutes to cover that 1 hour session. So that's what is being done at school. So if the child goes to the school, there'll be a topic, one single topic for one session for the 40 minutes or the 1 hour, that the same topic will be repeated to ensure all 30 children are understanding the topic. So in home, you will be able to shorten that time because of your individual one-on-one attention. And the second thing, main thing, is child-led learning. What the child needs to learn, the child will learn. Suppose if the child is more interested in playing with the paint or playing with paper, some kids may be into art, some kids might, they just like to make a mess. Some kids like me, some kids may be like that. So every that is not addressed in a traditional schooling. So in a traditional schooling, all 25 kids have to do the same activity for the day. So there is no child, as in what the child needs for that particular day is not addressed in a school. And customized pace and method of learning. So every day, once, if the child wants to take a break from learning, they can take a break. If they want to speed up their pace, they can speed up their pace. Some kids may be advanced in languages, some kids might be advanced in mathematics. So when they are homeschooled, they'll have time to concentrate on the areas that need more attention and the areas that interest the child more. And method of learning also, to give you a simple example, not all children start with a pencil. If you ask them to write a letter A with a pencil, what is traditionally done, they have asked to the child is asked to write the letter over and over a period of time. They'll ask the child to write 100 times, write the letter A 100 times. By 100th time, the child will definitely write that letter. But is that the way for education? If the child likes to play with paint, give them paint and ask them to write the letter. Within the fourth or fifth try, they'll do that. For a child who loves paint, this is the method. For a child who loves to play with sand or a grain, you can ask them to write in sand, trace in a emery paper or something like that. So when the method of learning is customized, or what is more attractive to the child is given, the learning pace is improving, and the interest towards learning is also improved. So for a child who doesn't like to hold pencil, if you are forcing them to write A 100 times, they lose interest in education. And well-rounded growth, so what I mentioned, mean by well-rounded growth is, through homeschooling, you are able to control the content the child is learning. So in you can make room for socio emotional development, or a life skill development, or doing their own work and independence there. Once you tell them that this 1 hour is your study time, the child have to bring their books, bring their pen from their place and sit in one place, and once they are done, they have to clean up their things and keep it in one place. So this allows for a well-rounded growth for the child. And any time spent with the child is a quality time. That's, at the end of the day, the child's only expectation from a parent is the time they spend with them. So this gives a better interpersonal relationship within the family, and a very good social development for the child. And see, as the parents are spending more time with the child, you'll better understand what the child needs. Suppose if they are interested in particular instrument or particular type of art, so the more time you spend with the child, the more you understand what they are interested in, and you can you in turn provide the same materials or resources for all that topics. So you have decided to homeschool, but you don't know where to start. So we are giving a basic checklist of what are the skills you can, a broad outline. Instead of saying Tamil, English, Maths, science and social studies, we are providing a skill based checklist for the child. So first would be the motor skills. A child below 6 years, this should be the main focus area. Motor skills, two main areas within motor skills is gross motor and fine motor skills. So gross motor skills, with respect to gross motor skills, it would be running, jumping, hopping, or climbing on something. So it'll most of the motor skill requirement are taken care by games, the physical active games we play. And with respect to fine motor, you can start with the objects inside the home. You can ask the child to unscrew the lid of a box, open all type of doors. So this is one of the main motor skill requirement a child should start learning at the early age. So how to open all the doors in the house, and how to exit in terms of emergency. So these are the main skills you can focus. And the second is the language skills. Language skills with within language skills, you can concentrate on speech and listening. So listening is another area which is overlooked into. So it doesn't matter if the child is using fancy vocabulary, but they should understand what the other person is saying. So that is the receptive language skill. And apart from this, there is reading and writing. And there was question about whether to introduce 3 language within this age group. We recommend you start with 1 language, and if there is the family is bilingual, orally you can introduce the other languages. Reading and writing can wait till the child is confident with 1 language. And life skills. So within life skills, what are the topics you can cover is the emotional development for the child. So emotional, social development for the child, their daily household chores, like putting their dirty clothes in a bin, or when you come to social development, so when a guest is arriving at home, how do you greet them? Or when a child is hurt in the playground, how do you react? Or when a child is taking away your toy, how do you react? So this kind of emotional development will come under life skills. And the next is the cognitive skills. Cognitive skills is what max matching shapes, colors, and what we generally put under the purview of IQ. This is cognitive skills. So you can you refer to worksheets and books for this particular category. And environmental awareness is what is going around them. You can start with this topic. You can start with the items inside your house. Explore all the items inside the house. What are they called, and what is it used for? And once that is done, move outside the house. Go and see the birds, flowers and plants. What is in front of them, that needs to be covered for this age category. And finally, art. So this is the major, attractive feature for the child of this age group. So it can be anything the child is interested in: drawing, painting, or coloring, or origami, clay modeling. So the resources for all these topics there are plenty of resources available online. So with respect to each of the topic, we recommend you make a checklist for the child. Let's say for 1 year, I'm making this checklist for my child. So let's say I'm making a checklist for a 5-year-old kid. I'll make for motor skills. For example, I would like the child to ride the cycle without training wheels, and I would like the child to learn plating the hair, or some fine motor activity, or some small origami, or you can make a checklist of, under each category, make checklist of items that the child needs to cover. So once you've made all the planning, so all the planning is done, all the topics are done, and how do I go about implementing it? So the first question I get from a lot of parents is, my child is not sitting in one place. That is okay. If the child is able to sit in a place for 2 to 3 minutes, that is a great victory from my side. So 2 to 3 minutes of attention span and sitting tolerance is very good start for the child to start homeschooling. You can introduce one topic, or take a very small topic and introduce one at a time. Let's say today the child is learning. If you want to start with the reading, you can start with one letter a day, or one letter a week is fine. This whole week I'll concentrate on teaching the child one letter. That is totally fine. You can pick up the frequency or the time of your homeschooling sessions. It can be gradually increased. So don't give up on the fact thinking that the child will not sit. They will sit for 2-3 minutes initially, but it will increase once the sessions go interactive and they get more rewards and something. Once that is it is imbibed into their routine, they'll be able to follow. And so one recommendation to make it attractive is start with the favorite activity, whether the child likes painting or drawing or dancing. If they like messy play, give them something to make a mess out of it. Or generally you can start with dancing, as in you put on a song, make sure the child is dancing. If the child is an hyperactive child and you are afraid about the child running away during middle of the learning session, you can start with dancing. You can start with a song they like, you can start with dancing. Or if the child prefers any other activity, you can do that in the beginning, and then you can start with the sessions. And make sure you reward the child after every session, whether there is learning or not. If the child, you planned the session for 5 minutes, but the child sat only for 2 to 3 minutes, reward them after every session. It could be a small sticker, or just a verbal prize is also enough, but make sure you reward them after every session. And how to arrange for teaching materials and worksheets, there are plenty available online, and our curriculum is also supported by books. So we have a set of 30 books for kindergarten children, so you can refer to that. And worksheets are also available online, and there are plenty of small worksheets you can do at home. It doesn't need a lot of preparation. So this is a worksheet made for color recognition and fine motor skills. So the child has to make sure that color car is parked inside that box. So for a child that is interested in cars, this is a very easy way to teach them colors. So as a parent and as a homeschooling parent, you will know what the child is, what interests the child. So this kind of worksheet will make so if I make this worksheet for 4 5 days, the fifth day the child will be able to identify the colors. And another worksheet is just make 2 dots and ask the child to join, make colorful dots all over the paper, and you can ask the child to join. And one more thing, this is my favorite actually. You can make a checkbox and ensure it is colored in different colors and ask the child to copy the pattern. It will take 2 minutes for the parents, and believe me, the child will take at least 20 minutes to complete this activity. So this is attractive to the child in the picture. So what attracts the child, what interests the child, the parent will know better once you are into homeschooling. Once that once you spend 1 hour per day or a half an hour per day with the child, you'll know what interests the child. So this self-engaging worksheets can be made anywhere. You can just, if you are traveling somewhere or you are sitting in a restaurant, you would like to talk with the other person, the child is asking for some engagement, so you can give them worksheets like this. And one of our main recommendation is not go for educational toys. We don't have anything against educational toys, but it is better to go with the household items. You just give them a bowl, a spoon to bang on. Can give them 2 bowls with water. Sorry, 2 bowls and one filled with water. You can ask them to transfer with a sponge or a spoon. It will take a lot of time and a lot of patience. They have to transfer without spilling. You can give them grains. So activities are there are plenty of activities you can do at home with the children using the utensils in the kitchen. You just have to get creative and to the point where ensure there is no dangerous material within the house, within the reach of the child, and let them explore on their own. If the child wants to open up a drawer and empty everything, let them do it, but ensure, once they are done playing, make sure they clean up. So once that is the cleanup or taking things, keeping things back in their place, once that habit is established, the children will start exploring the house more, as in the object inside the house is more attractive to the child than any toy you. There are plenty of children who know when you give them the box, they'll throw away the toy and play with the box. So it's not about what what is attractive to the eyes of the adult. So for a child, the attractiveness is totally on the objects that is around them. So let them explore that, and you can start activities with the household items. And one other strong recommendation is show, don't help. When the child wants to write something, don't hold their hands unless there is a special need for the child to be physically their need for the holding of hands. Otherwise, don't hold the hands when the child is writing. This is a very simple example, and other activities too. Don't hold their hands while doing that. Show them and ask them to repeat. Children are best at copying, and they will do whatever you show. So once the repetition is the key. You show them 10 times, the 11th time the child will write A. So if you're holding the hand, the writing or whatever activity you're doing might come easily, but for the child to develop independence, you have to let them explore. If it is ugly, let it be ugly. There is no definition of this is beautiful, that is ugly. The scribbling is, if you're not able to understand their writing, it's fine, but do not do their work for them. And another recommendation is use colorful stationery. Instead of giving a pen or pencil, give them crayons, paints, let them make a mess. Make sure it is child safe. And you can create an area within your household for the child to learn. So let that area be messy, and ensure at the end of the day, the child and the parent are together cleaning up the place. And so how do you go about daily planning? Suppose some of you might be working parents, some of you might be stay at home parents. So how do you go about on a day-to-day basis? So we can fix a time that works for both the parent and the child. And in case of a working parent, I would recommend, if possible, you can fix a time early in the day when the children are very bright. You can start with that time early in the day. If possible, fix a time. Otherwise, fix a time which works for your work schedule and the child's schedule. and ensure at least 1 hour is spent with the child. Only spending the time only with the children. It's not cooking and talking to the children. No, 1 hour the child will get 100% attention. It should not be in middle of another activity. Ensure the child gets at least 1 hour in 100% attention, and ensure to accommodate everything. Is in a day, the child should have learned a new topic, or at least revise the topic that has been learned earlier. And for artwork and for play and games, you can make a list of activities. There are plenty of to dos or attractive lists on website. You can print it out and you can fill it up with activities the child needs, and the activity that will interest the child. And so this is done, all this planning is done. How to ensure that the child is following is regularly? Say today I have done, tomorrow how do I make sure the child is coming back? So we can we recommend some small rewards like this: a small sticker once the child is done, a stamp. You can stamp this on the hand of the child, and an attractive to-do list. There are, you can in the, if you see online, there are different types of to-do lists, not just a checklist. There will be to do the items that needs to be done written on a popsicle stick. Once that is done, they have to transfer it to the other box. So something like that. Or you can give a hair clip with the name sorry, the cloth pin. You can write what the activity is done. Once that is done, you can transfer. So make sure this to-do list is very attractive. So one of the main motivation for a adult is that you can give them a checklist, they finish the work faster. So for a child, this also works. And make sure it is very attractive, and keep rotating it. So if this month you have a to-do list in this style, the next month you can have a different method, or you can have a different list. And you can give them reward points, as in if you once all the activities in the checklist is done for the day, you have, let's say, 4 or 5 activities for the child: art, maths, or English, or reading, or coloring, something like that. You'll have 10 or 15 items on the checklist. Once they have completed, let's say if the child completes 10 out of 15 or all 15, you give them rewards. It could be a point system or anything. You can give them money also. You can 1 or 2 rupees, and make sure it is very small amount, but you can give them the reward, can be anything, but make sure they redeem it. You can give them a time, as in at the end of the month you can collect all the points or money, you can redeem it against a gift. So they will start this introduce the idea of saving and redeeming also. And another strong point we would advertise is praise in public and criticize in private. Then we all know that, but see, once even if it is a very small thing, I know all kids can read, as a if you have a 4-year-old at home, let's say all 4-year-olds do this particular milestone they would have reached. It's okay, even if 100 kids are doing and your kid is doing, you have to praise them in public. Let's say you can, yesterday my kid dressed on their own. Yes, there are plenty of kids who do that. It's not a big accomplishment, but it, for them it is a very big thing for them to hear when you say that to us, in front of another adult or someone. So beyond academics, what you can do? So as of now, because of the pandemic, we have limitations with respect to what we can do for this age group. I mean, we wouldn't recommend a lot of extracurricular activities unless the child is showing a very strong affiliation towards any of these activities. And beyond these also, this is just a small checklist. Beyond these also, ensure it is age appropriate, and the trainers are well qualified before engaging in any of the activities. And so again, I would like to talk about our begin and our program a little bit. So what is begin? So we started this as a guided homeschooling program last year. So what is it? So we send materials, books and learning materials to the doorstep to the child. So first month we'll send a book and a daily schedule for the child to complete. So based on their the pace at which they are doing, which activity is more attractive to them, the next month schedule is customized. And since the teaching is done by the parent who knows what attracts the child or what kind of learning the child is into, they're able to customize the the way of teaching and everything. So this was our main ideas in the no child should be left behind. When in the early age, the education, early childhood education starts from the age of 3 to 6. So we wanted to ensure no child is left behind. Or in the traditional method of schooling, if the teacher their scheduling is different, so they'll teach the topic for 1 week, and they'll move on to the next topic. So what is the assurance that all 25 or 30 kids in the class have learnt everything? So in homeschooling, we have that advantage. We can make sure the child has learned the basics well before going to the next topic. So these are our books. I have a few sample here. So it is like this. Can have a look at the quality of the pages. So we have ensured that this is very attractive to the child, and they are able to follow the path of the book. So I would like to talk again about the curriculum we are using. Initially, when I started with a list of skill set that you should be concentrating on. So based on that, we have used that structure, and within that skill set, there has to be a checklist of these things to be covered. So we have used CBSE curriculum and Montessori curriculum as a guideline to pick up a few pointers from there. And we have also interacted with early childhood development specialists to make sure this list is exhaustive. We have them available on our website for free for each level. So you can have a look at this. You can print it out. We can make sure, this is an exhaustive list, as in you need not go beyond this. If the child shows interest in activities beyond this, you can always start. And so this checklist, you can start with this checklist. Let's say for motor skills, there will be 5 or 10 pointers for nursery kid. Within motor skills or gross motor skills, there will be 10 or 20 checklist items. So you can take a year or 10 months or 5 months or 20 months, even if you want. So depending upon the child, you can fix the timeline to cover each of the topic. You can make a checklist, and for each activity, you can make, as in let's say for reading, today I have to start with the letter recognition. I have to show the child, teach the child the letters, uppercase and lowercase letters. There are plenty of worksheets available online. You can refer to our books also. So once you have made the list of topics you have to cover for the child, it's a very easy road from there. And this is one of our other websites, the initial website we started. This is the one I was talking about, the traditional games. So all the resources on this website are also free. There are indoor games, outdoor games, some DIY art and craft activities that we are adding. As in, there are a few in the website, and we will be adding regularly. And if you have any questions, we can have a talk. Yeah, Kushbu, do you have a question? Hello. I hope the session was informative and useful for you, at least.
Hello, Preeti here.
Yeah, Preeti.
Hello.
Yeah.
So if I homeschool my child till class UKG of a standard, can they join a regular school?
Yes, they can join a regular school as per CBSE guidelines. For a child below 6 years, as in before first standard, there is no requirement to submit a transfer certificate.
But for example, if I'm homeschooling her for till class 5, how does this merge with the regular schooling at some point of time?
So if you are planning to merge with the regular schooling at time, we recommend you go with the CBSE curriculum or whatever school you are planning to enroll.
Okay.
So you can make, the CBSE curriculum is available for free in NCERT website. They have the only issue there is they have it together for all 3 years, nursery, LKG and UKG. I had shared a screenshot earlier with the syllabus, so you can refer to that as well. I'll send you a message, Preeti.
Okay, but
you can refer to that syllabus. But see, there will not be any lag with respect to, before first standard, there is not a plenty of topics.
We have regular exam system, something like that. But in homeschooling, only we as parents should conduct.
Yes, that is up to the parent. Yeah.
So how is that? How do I know if she has finished nursery level?
So you have to refer the curriculum that is available. See, let's say for nursery, it's enough if they see and identify the letters. Yeah.
Homeschooling, they have exams, right?
Yeah.
But homeschooling is not like that.
No, see, what is the point of exam? See, in the school, the teacher is teaching 25 children. She doesn't know whether all the 25 or 30 children have learned the topic. So that is the point of exam. They are trying to assess whether the child has learned. But through homeschooling, as a parent, you know whether the child has understood or not, right?
Okay, get it.
Yeah. So
it takes a lot of mindset to accept it.
Yeah, it's there. See, it's not
from a very conservative background of schooling.
Correct.
It needs a lot of.
Correct.
Yes, it was very good session, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Preeti. And just an information for all the participants: if it is getting disconnected after 40 minutes, please join using the same link. Yes, I had another question.
Okay, Monica, say for example, your curriculum, as you said, first month, it's going to be as per begin.
Right.
But second month, depending on the pace of the kid, you will customize it. Is it correct?
The curriculum is fixed, as in the topics that will be taught in each month is fixed, but the pace will be different. Suppose the child is not learning, as in if they need more time, we have paced it out over for every book we have given 4 weeks. So some kids may finish in 3, some they'll take more time. And suppose if there is a certain topic the child is having trouble with, we'll send additional learning materials or supplementary worksheets, something like that. So we had to ensure some structure because our books are pre-printed.
Okay.
So this gap will be bridged through additional worksheets and changing the method of learning. If the child is not okay with the visual input, we'll see if we can give auditory input or other sensory kind of input. So we'll change the method of learning and the pace, not the content that is being taught. That is prefixed because the books are pre-printed, and that can be customized to some point through additional worksheets.
Okay, how will this suffice the IB curriculum?
IB we have not included. It will suffice CBSE and Montessori curriculum. So you can have a.
So for example, say for example, if I want my child to get into IB board, will this curriculum help?
IB curriculum will have if you compare the CBSE, Montessori, or we have compared with other state board curriculums also, there is no big difference with respect to the topics learnt in the first 3 years. There will be, I'm not telling it will be 100% covering all the topics, but there will be some lags that we can address through additional worksheets or additional classes that can be done.
Okay, and will this your curriculum be helpful to cover phonics?
Phonics, yes, we have, but so we had 3 levels, right? Nursery, LKG, and UKG. The nursery level will only concentrate on letter recognition. The next level, LKG level, will concentrate on single letter sounds and blending and double letters, 2 letter words. The third one will concentrate on 3 letter words and some sight words. That's about it. So beyond that, it's not in our purview.
Okay, and how different is your curriculum compared to other homeschooling which are Finnish based, in the sense they because Finland is the best, has got the best education system. So certain programs in India have their curriculum designed as per Finland plus Indian curriculum. So how different yours would be from a Finnish curriculum?
No, we have taken from the best of both worlds, and whatever the best from CBSE and Montessori we have picked. And apart from that, there is a neurological checklist for early childhood development. This is developed by child specialists. So we have used that checklist as well. So to ensure that the life skills or the socio-economical skills or more practical approach, we have ensured that, and our lessons also will have a more practical approach.
Yeah, actually, I really like that slide of yours where you have written, like, there is motor skills, there is, then there is the last one, the environmental skills. Then, so, generally when my kid is also going to school, but what happens is they do everything, but that environmental gets missed.
Right.
Teaching, blending with the nature, what you said, going out and showing, oh, this is nature and all, that part generally gets missed.
Right.
But yeah, the session was really good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Monica.
Hi,
Is
hi,
Bhavani here?
Hi, Bhavani.
And as Ashu was mentioning, I could actually my kid was going to school. She was going from around 2 years. So she was going till last March, and after that she has also been going through online classes. The syllabus is actually IB based, but as you were mentioning, it does not matter if the syllabus is going to be a IB or CBSE curriculum or Montessori curriculum at this stage. Even I would say till they are around 5 years, because the basics are the same. In fact, I would say that for my kid, she is now going to be 4, but they have not even started a formal education, like even letters or phonics or something like along those lines. They've not even started writing. In fact, I used to check with her class teacher whether I can, since is this happening because they're not coming to school, will they be lagging behind in terms of learning letters and all that. But what they stress upon is that when we are continuing to engage them, and when see, for example, when we are reading books to them, they will automatically start picking up on all that. So my kid, she herself asks me, what is this letter, how are you able to read it, how I am not able to read that. In fact, you'd be surprised that she is starting to copy the letters from the books. When I keep it near her slate, she automatically copies it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it is a idea of teaching them ABCD like they did to us in the past.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying that is wrong.
Yeah.
There are different ways. That's what I would say, and I think children themselves adapt to the way which is available to them at this point of time.
Yeah.
And also with respect to exams, I don't think any school is now conducting exams for this level. Maybe a assessment of a sort to check where the child is, and maybe if they're lagging behind in a few areas, maybe concentrate only on those areas, like say for example fine motor skills. Some kids, they are not able to paint within a specific area. So I think, like you said, homeschooling is better in that way, because as parents we will be able to identify more, because we are just focusing on one kid, right, rather
Yeah.
than a class where a lot of kids are there.
Yeah.
So actually, your session was very helpful in one actually the session was really helpful
Yeah.
in all
Thank you.
aspects, I would say. But one specific way is the activities which you have in your website, a list of activities. Say we can just, even if we are not able to spend 1 hour completely with the kids, because this is in this time of pandemic, I would say it is difficult for all
Right.
parents who are especially working.
Right.
But at least in half an hour, we can just give them some 2-3 specific activities which you have mentioned in your website. For example, the transferring of water from the bowl. It also keeps them engaged, and it also helps them in developing fine motor skills.
Right.
So like that, those set of activities and all that is actually very helpful.
Yeah.
So all in
Thank
all, a very good session.
Thank you, Moni. I mean, thank you for bringing up that point. I missed that during our session. So there is no right or wrong curriculum to choose. As in, there is we say the 4-year child should be able to identify letters. So even if they don't identify the letters, it's fine. So if the 5-year we have a milestone for 5-year-old kids saying that they'll have to read by this age. Even if they don't read, it's fine, but there should be some sort of learning. Instead of no learning, there should be some sort of learning which is more needed for the child. If the child is a very sedentary child, physical activity is more important for the child rather than reading. So as a parent, you have that option. In homeschooling, you have that luxury to explore what the child needs exactly, rather than the conventional checklist we have.
That's true.
So
Monica, I have a question.
yeah, Kushbu, tell me.
The activity of gross motor skill and fine motor skills, till what age should we continue? Like Bhavya is not going to school,
Right.
so there are different activity I've seen on the like on YouTube's and other websites,
Right.
and from your website also. So what's the correct age? Actually, there is a particular age for both the things. So Bhavya is just starting for nursery. So till what time we should introduce this activity, or shall we continue with these activities?
No, the gross motor and fine motor skills are age specific. For, let's say, you can start from even from birth. You say at 6 months the child should be able to hold the head, right? So for each age there is a set of milestones. Let's say for 3 to 4 there will be set of milestones. For 4 to 5 there will be set of milestones. This doesn't stop at any point. Till they are adults, there will be certain milestones. So it's not mandatory they meet all of this, but let's say if twisting a cloth, you give them a cloth, ask them to twist in the opposite direction. This is a milestone for a 3 to 4-year-old kid should be able to do this. But even if they're not able to do it, it's fine. So it's not a checklist of items that has to be done before they turn 4. Suppose if you see a checklist for, let's say, 3 to 4-year-olds, if the 4-year-old child is not doing it, you need not worry. You can introduce at any age. Even for a 5-year-old kid, you can start with the gross motor skill or activity recommended for a 2-year-old kid. There is no right or wrong age to start, but ensure your child is above that age. For a 2-year-old kid, do not introduce a gross motor skill that is mentioned for an older kid. That's all.
And one other things, as I'm now he's doing homeschooling, like Bhavya, I'm making him study, but now he has started writing. He himself is showing interest in writing.
Right.
I just want to introduce him the standing line, sleeping line, but now he's showing the interest and he want to write like alphabets like P, 6, 9, something he is writing. He is writing in the on way, but he is writing in the opposite direction. Like P, we will write in
mirror
that,
imaging.
but he is starting. Yeah, like that he is doing so.
So that is a common thing when they start, Kushbu, once they start reading and introduce only one letter at a time. So if
no, actually, when I'm teaching, he himself is picking up the letters. So I don't want to stop him from writing, but he's doing the opposite thing.
Okay, it's okay if he writes everything, but from your side, ensure that he sees only one letter week. Let's say you are starting with letter P and Q if he is confusing. Ensure there is only P letter, as in from your side. If the child is exploring all the letters, that is perfectly fine. From your side, make sure you get worksheets printed. Listen, this is letter P, P for penguin, P for pig. You can draw and show. Ensure the one from your side there is only one letter going to the child. You can ask him to trace in sand or within a grain, or you can give them watercolors or messy paint to trace with the hand. Ensure tracing with the hand before introducing pencil. So if the child is moving towards all the letters or is exploring everything, that is perfectly fine. But when you are teaching, ensure you teach only one at a time, one letter at a time, and move on to the next letter.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you. That's all from my side.
Okay, thank you, Kushbu.
Actually, Kushbu, I can relate to it because I've also not started teaching any letters to my kid. She herself automatically puts this P and comes and shows to me. I realize that it is in the wrong direction. I try to correct, but she will say that no, you are only wrong. This is correct.
That's right.
So
the kid will never accept when they are wrong. There is no point in saying this is not right. Just show them what is right. That's all. From your side, if the child is getting confused, just show them what is right and keep repeating it. As in over a period of time, they'll get it. It's not.
no,
It's okay if they're
correct.
confused for the time being.
So I have stopped saying that you are wrong. What I've started doing is, even if I say that this is correct and put no, she'll say this is wrong. So sometimes when I'm reading book, I will show her, see, this is how they have put P.
Yeah.
Maybe when you are putting P, you can do like this.
Mm.
So that way, sometimes she realizes that she is wrong and she corrects, but
Yeah.
sometimes she will stay with her own P only.
That's fine. Child has to. I mean,
I think
that
they
is
will
not
learn over
perfectly
a course
normal
of
for,
time.
yeah, perfectly normal for a child. And you can do activities with that letter. You can have a P for pan. You can draw a pan and show this is how P looks or something. You can Google as in letter P activity, or with respect to each letter, there are plenty of activities you can do for letter recognition.
Like I have one more question
Yeah.
related to this confusion. Like M and W,
Yeah.
both are same. Like,
Yeah.
so can we introduce same time, like writing M and W together and asking him to identify what is N and what is M and what is W? Like this kind of activity will confuse the child, or it is okay?
No,
We should.
show M for 2-3 days, and once the child is sure this is M, before introducing the contrasting character, let's say E or F also, they look similar. M and W also, they look similar. It's easy to, while writing it is easy to introduce them together, but for reading, introduce them next to each other and then ask the child to compare and contrast. For M and W, you can simply use the activity M looks like mountain, and W can hold a water. W for water, it can hold water. So
Okay,
like
okay.
that. So
Okay. Okay, that's all from my side.
So I think that is end from our side. So if there are any questions or queries, you can ping us on WhatsApp. You can drop a mail to us. Anytime you can contact us with the queries with respect to homeschooling your kindergarten child. And thank you for all joining the session. This session is recorded and it will be available on once we have figured out. It will be available on YouTube also. You can recommend to parents who might need it. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you, Monica.
Thank you. Bye.
So much.
Thank you,
It was
Monica.
really helpful. It will be helpful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.